I have a Tom Ford suit because...
Ooh, he's got a Tom Ford suit.
I've got a Tom Ford tux and a Tom Ford suit. I'm very lucky.
Hope the moths haven't got to it.
Yeah, so do I. But that's partly because I genuinely think Tom Ford was one of the best tailored suits on James Bond. I do think Daniel Craig looked rather amazing. So, Bond 25, the 25th outing and incarnation of James Bond is, as we know, in production. Family connection? No? Your father?
Well, my dad's been in Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah.
And in The Living Daylights, I think it was, with Timothy Dalton.
Wow, so he's appeared in you've been in two Bond movies.
Two Bond movies. I mean, little parts.
And he liked working with Roger Moore, didn't he? He found him fun, he was saying on holiday.
He really liked Roger Moore.
And yeah, Nadia's father died at the hands of that character Jaws. I think he sank his teeth into his neck.
Actually, tells a funny story about Roger Moore and how much his wife controlled him. Was it the boss? Was the boss?
Oh, was the boss.
And he talks about one day he came down to the bar, Roger Moore, and was buying them all a drink. And then the lift came down into the bar and the doors opened and his wife was there and she just simply went...
To him?
And he left the bar and went, James
how
Bond!
Funny. That's
and went
so
into the
funny.
lift.
The name is Bond, Mrs. Bond.
I better just go to the lift.
Mrs. Bond. Are you a Bond fan? I mean, you have over the years.
I have been
Bond.
over the... Oh my God, I loved the Bond film. What's that? Goldfinger. Oh my God, I loved Goldfinger. But I loved Sean Connery.
Yeah,
loved him.
I was a big fan of Sean Connery.
And I loved Roger Moore. And
we liked Skyfall.
I loved Skyfall. It was one of my most favourite Bond movies.
With Judi Dench,
and because Judi Dench was brilliant. It was absolutely heartbreaking. Do you remember when she died? I was in bits.
It was a great movie. It was
but
a very
since
good
then,
movie.
because I despair of Daniel Craig and his lack of graciousness.
I agree. He's not very gracious. He
You know,
sort of
when
tells
you
everyone
go
to
and
piss
pay
off when they interview him.
£10-15 for to go to the cinema.
Yeah.
And you know the millions that he's on.
Yeah.
And every single interview, it's like he really doesn't want to be there. And he slags off the brand. I'm like...
It's odd, isn't it?
I don't actually fancy coming to see you.
And there's that famous question from the reporter that said, are you going to do another Bond? And he said, I'd rather slash my wrists than...
Fuck off then and give somebody else a chance.
Unfortunately, his reluctance to be leaping around and doing stuff, I thought crept into. Was it Sceptre?
It was awful.
It was awful.
It was boredom. I won't be going to this one.
Well, this one has been... Well...
Unless I'm going to see something wow. Who would be your Bond if we got rid of Daniel Craig?
Oh, I'm a fan of the idea of Idris Elba.
So am I.
I really am. I think it would be a clever move. I think it would be an inclusive move. I think he's... I just think he's very cool.
Charming.
He's charming, he's cool,
good looking.
Well, the new Bond is set in Jamaica. Let's just run through a few of the things that we know about the new Bond film. So, we know that Danny Boyle was originally attached to it as the director and due to creative differences, had to leave. As we know, I'm not a big Danny Boyle fan, though I love Train Spotting. So Danny Boyle left. We also know that Daniel Craig injured himself really badly, had to be flown out to Miami to hospital, and that held things up. We also know there was an explosion on set only a couple of weeks ago, and that injured one of the crew members. And we also know that only yesterday, a secret camera was found in the women's toilets at Pinewood Studios filming all the female actresses.
That's true.
By a pervert.
And a friend of my friend's is working on it and says it's a very unhappy set.
It's a very unhappy set. Now, Cary Fukunaga... I'm not swearing. Cary Fukunaga.
Have you seen the doctor?
I have. It's on my foot. It's very big. Cary Fukunaga.
I've got a Cary Fukunaga.
I've got a couple of Cary Fukunagas.
Terrible. It's giving me terrible heartburn.
Terrible case of the Fukunagas. Well, Cary Fukunaga has been brought in, but here's the other drama. Cary Fukunaga, I can't say it so many times. It's a great name.
It's a great name.
He was the creative force behind the first series.
Was it a man?
Yes, it's a man.
Oh, Cary.
Yes. He's the creative force behind the first series of True Detectives, which I think was an absolute masterpiece with Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey. Really good. So when he was brought in to replace Danny Boyle, I got quite excited. And then the story broke last week. The crew were very unhappy because Cary Fukunaga was Fukunagaing away in his Winnebago and was late onto set because he was playing PS4. Yes, can you believe this? They had to do overtime and extra shoots because he overran his game. So they say.
God, sounds like there's a load of wankers on this film.
So this film sounds like an absolute bloody nightmare. So I think that's...
Divas.
The reason
divas, left, right, and centre.
We also know that Rami Malek is playing the villain. don't know how I feel about that. The thought of Bohemian Rhapsody charging through Bond, I don't know. Once you've had people like, well, all the people that we've had, what's the name of the guy who's married to Penelope Cruz?
I think he'll be quite good, actually.
Do you?
I think he'll camp it up something rotten. And I always loved a really camp villain.
Yeah, I do.
I loved the
Donald
Pussycat.
Pleasance,
I
yeah.
loved all of that. So I'm looking for some high camp villainy.
Stroking the pussy.
Stroking the pussy.
Stroking the pussy with
Stroking
the
the
Fukunaga.
pussy.
Do you think Fukunaga might go for the stroking of the pussy?
I think he might.
Right, anyway, so I think this is clearly, it's not a trailer, but it's just landed, is a Bond 25 first look on set with Bond 25 in Jamaica. And I think this is clearly a bit of a PR stunt to tell everyone it's so freaking cool here.
Right,
things are so in hand that you're just not going to believe it. So
better be good.
They're on a mission, you know. Undercover mission this. Yeah man, yeah you will start. Alright, so yeah. So what a boom shot this, what a hit and not a miss. If a man want this, he will catch up in me fish. Snake in a grass, what is when it crisp. From a sexy girl, let me a put kiss. Boom shot this, what a hit and not a miss. If a man want this, he will catch up in me fish. Snake in a grass, what is when it crisp. From a sexy girl, let me a put kiss. So the touch, so from somewhere me come out with no way no come apart. Say good call me Colonel Corporal Sarge. Me the fun a mission to reverb the barrage. It no matter if a small, it no matter if a large. From when me come one, say sabotage. So the fun a mission when we come apart. Say don't call we Colonel Corporal Sarge. Me the fun a mission with me verbal barrage. La 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 sabotage. La 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 sabotage. So what we say?
They really are up shit creek without a paddle.
Why'd you say that?
Loads of old nonsense.
So basically they're showing footage of them all getting on with the job.
That was awful.
In order to
That
tell
was
everyone
awful.
that we're okay.
That was awful.
And I also noticed that they put in footage of Daniel Craig smiling. Because the other bit of information that is intriguing is Daniel Craig himself, he's an executive producer on the film, pulled in Phoebe Waller-Bridge from Killing Eve to help with the script.
Oh,
he wanted
that's
to,
a clever move.
I think it was a clever move. He wants to make, he wants to
'cause it
inject
was
a bit of
so
humour.
humorless, that last one.
And
because that was a big thing. I mean, Roger was the best. He was very funny. There was also a lot of humour in.
So I think she might bring the humour, but he also, this apparently, Craig wanted to slightly reverse the gender politics where it's always so sort of overtly misogynistic, essentially. So I think Phoebe Waller-Bridge is trying to correct that.
Well,
so,
I thought that was...
What was that all about?
That was a shit show, that
I
was.
got a bit excited that I didn't realise Jeffrey Wright was in it.
Yeah, we like Jeff. But the thing is, it wasn't... I mean, I love a bit of behind the scenes.
Yeah,
I love a bit
but it wasn't enough.
But I wasn't getting a bit of behind the scenes enough properly, and I wasn't getting any, like, great scenes. So it was just something and nothing, really. Don't you think?
Yeah. I'd have rather had a shot of Daniel Craig with his foot and foot blaster.
I think they're in real trouble.
I think they're in real trouble. If they haven't shoved that sort of shit out.
Come on, take
Come
us
on.
back to the glory days. Skyfall was brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so
Bring
many
Judi
brilliant-
Dench back
come
in.
Come on, let's get it going. Come
Resurrect
on.
her.
That's
Bring
no
Jaws
bloody
in.
good.
They should get your dad in it. Jesus, he'd show that thing or two.